Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I couldn't sleep this morning. It's, I think, maybe the last day of what we set aside as calling Black History Month. And a lot of people have been celebrating, and a lot of people are still celebrating. And especially on this day, they're going to really celebrate. And I'm reminded about Black history, and I'm thinking about growing up in the South back in the days when I was a young person. When I was going to school, I never read anything in books about Black people. Not in school, not one darn thing about Black people. So you really didn't have any information about Black people except what they did show you. And what did you see? If you watched television, you saw Tarzan, a white guy in Africa, flying all over the jungle on vines, and all of the animals would listen to him. The gorillas, the alligators, the elephants, whatever he wanted them to do, he could speak their language and call them to come and engage in it. And when you saw Black people, they were walking, running around in between the weeds with bones in their ear or in their nose or in their lips and made them look really unhuman. And that's all you saw. And if you saw another movie, they always had them acting crazy and acting like they had no sense, buffoons. And so when you have this exposure, it makes you think that these Black people, people like yourself, are ignorant buffoons and have no um, promise. And all of a sudden, when you talk about God, you see God is being presented as white, his son is white, and everybody that's associated with biblical stuff is white. And the only time you see a Black person is when Jesus supposedly carrying the cross. He got a little heavy for him. They pulled up a Black man to help him carry the cross. I mean, that kind of stuff is despicable. Then you grow up, things change, and you go back and they have information available to you now. So your knowledge can grow, has grown. And what do you see? You find out that the Black people that were depicted as such nothings, all of a sudden you recognize that they were the people. I mean, that everybody needed to emulate because they were the ones who had it going on, especially since they were first. You found out that they were able to build, to create, and invent this and that. And, and you couldn't even imagine that they did it because when they did it, it was claimed by white people as doing it. And Black people still didn't get the credit. But nevertheless, be that as it may, you find out that they were and are somebody. So when you think about that, you think about what they did to your people. You think about what information that been made available to you that you did get. How they separated the families, how they sold the families to different places that they were not together. They didn't get a chance to grow up as a family. They were here, they were there, whatever you could get some money for them. This is where they were at. You raped their wives, you did the same thing to their husbands. I mean, whatever is despicable, that's what you did. And if they didn't do what you wanted them to do, you lynched them, you beat them, you killed them. Oh my God, it was absolutely pathetic. And all of this happened. But then let's say that things really change and information becomes available and people try to grow out of what the debauchery that they were in and make life better. But in the same time you're trying to do that, people have memories. Memories that says people will do anything. They have done anything. So what you find out is that yes, what they do now is what they did out in the open. Now they're trying to hide it. There'll come a time when they want to try to hide it again. If you don't get rid of it, they'll try to do it openly again. But for the most part, let's go stay in that area where they try to hide it. So you know that people would do anything, not just white people, Black people, anybody would do anything that they want you to think that was bad, and they didn't want you to know. So what happened? They would try to hide it. They would hide it. So when you grow up and you see people doing stuff all the time, and you see how they try to hide it. All the creditor calls and you say, tell them I'm not here. You're trying to hide it. You go out when you weren't supposed to, as for other people trying to control you. So you try to hide it. So you end up doing those things that other people were doing that you saw them doing. Because what they tell you doesn't mean that much. What you're listening to is what you're watching, what you're seeing. It's like cheating. If you see people cheating and trying to hide it, then you think that people cheat. And what they do is they try to hide it. You don't think that there are people that are not cheating. You just think that there are people who hid it well. And so you end up being just like them. So when you see a person like dealing with the truth, like let's say Bill Clinton, who for some strange reason felt that he could have better sex with another type of situation than what he had available to him, he did it. But what you didn't do, you try to hide it. And so when information gets out and you start trying to be challenged with it, you try to hide it. Same thing Donald Trump. The thing that Donald Trump is doing is the same thing Donald Trump has seen done in his circle all his life. And he think that people try to hide that stuff, but he is the biggest hider. He can hide it. I mean, he can be on top of hiding. And when challenged with it, the first thing you try to do is tell people I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It's not me. It's not, anything to try to hide it. Um, and I'm saying this because as I was lying in bed trying to sleep, I was thinking about the information that is being made available to Black people today. All of this information is telling us how great we were, telling us who the original people were, telling us that the Bible was written on the stories of Black people that had been whitewashed, painted as being white. So the good things that it was about, they get the credit for it rather than Black folks getting the credit. And that stuff can make you angry. It will make you angry to think that our people abused you like that. And so when I see AI today bringing up posts and they're saying things about how Black people were treated, and yet when they put a picture up or something like that, they'll put up a picture of an angry Black person. And and for instance, like Farrakhan, and we know what Farrakhan has been doing in America, how he's spoken out for Black people all of his life. And but when these AI come out, they're talking about they got Farrakhan angry. I mean, he's fussed up. He got his fist up. Or you're talking about other people that are not like Farrakhan, but you're talking about you depicting the idea that you've done it to us. Now it's our time. We're going to get even. We're going to get you back. I mean, that's the story that is reflected in the pictures. And so what does that do? That makes white people be afraid. We gotta hold them down. We gotta fight hard the best as much as we possibly can. We gotta really lock in on making sure that they never rise because look what they're gonna do to us. Look at the struggle that's gonna come out of that. Because this is what the enemy of life is depicting. And most folks, if you're not wise enough to catch it, you won't catch it. So rather than people being just given information where they can unfold and come out better, they are now just perpetuating anger and all of this that's going to be a negative. See, and this is what you do when you're not free, when you're still living a lie. The truth came out accidentally, and now it's representing itself in this kind of way. And so the real truth, especially the truth about God, doesn't get out. And so if it does, you don't believe it. For instance, it's you can as a Black person, as I just got to describe it, who've gone through all of this humiliation, who've gone through all of this negativity, who've all been beat down. And we know what it is. But then the message comes out that now we do know. So why can't you tell a different message? The God message, the divine message, the love message. That message doesn't get put out. No, that message doesn't get put out. People try, if anybody make a post about the God message, about the God love message, it won't get on, it won't be on TV. That message will not be on social media. And that message is the message that says to white people, here's Black people. Yes, you did all of this to me, but that was from the pit of hell that you did to me. And it was despicable, and we hate that you did it to us. It was low down, it was dirty, it was cruel. We acknowledge that's what it was. But you know what? God brought that to our attention. God is freeing us from that. And because we're being freed from that, you will never catch us doing the same thing that you did to us because it makes us just like you. And we are not like you. You were raised by evil. You were raised by the devil. You were raised by Satan. And we have been raised by the love of God. So what we're saying to white people and to anybody else who at one time we considered our enemy is now that we are free, we're not going to do to you. What we're going to do is make sure that those things that we would love, that we would deny because we were in bondage, we're going to have those things. In fact, what we're going to do, we're going to have jobs, and we're going to have the kind of jobs that we love engaging ourselves in. But we're not just going to have jobs for us that we love. We're going to make sure that you got jobs as well, the kind of job that you love. We're not going to try to put you down and have digging ditches because we think that's not important. No, we're going to leave it to you to choose the job that you love. Not only that, we're going to make sure that we got food and housing. We're going to make sure that because we were denied it and we need it, but we're not just going to do that for us. The same thing that we do for us, we're going to assure that you have those same benefits. We're not going to treat you like a low down dirty dog like you treated us. We are lovers. We're going to introduce you to something new. We're going to introduce you to something different. Not only that, we're going to have education and healthcare the best that we can possibly have. We're going to not be trying to make money off treating sicknesses. We're going to find cures so you can get rid of it and it won't be there. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to utilize the resources that have been given to us free and the realization of how much we need it. And we're not going to have money as a reason, as an enabler for you to do the things that you do. The resources are free. We recognize the need, and it is we who are going to be doing it. And so we're not going to charge you. We're going to do this to protect you, but we're not going to do that for ourselves. We know that you need it as well. And so how we engage ourselves will be permitted to you for you to engage yourselves as well. Why? So you can have education, so you can have health care, so you can have these benefits of life that we would deny. And we're not going to frighten you by saying we're going to get even. No, we're not going to get even. The way we're going to get even is making sure that you have no excuse, making sure you have no reason to come back at us if you ever get the upper hand again. No, we're going to teach you the way. And in regular daily life, there are things that people do to one another for the same reasons, ignorance. But and there are times when you're suspicious. Suspicion comes to tell you that things have been going kind of crooked. And now your mind is messing with you. And so you have the right to go and try to get it eased by asking questions. And why not answer the questions honestly rather than trying to do what you've always done, hide it? See, when you hide stuff, you can't forgive. When you open with it, you can forgive. So when somebody comes to you and asks you a question about something that they're mind and they're struggling with, tell them the truth. And that eliminates that fire that's trying to burn. But when you get pissed off and find some old reason for say that why you won't tell the truth, why you won't be honest, that they get that too. And their understanding of why you won't be honest is because you're still trying to hide something. They are curious, they're suspicious, and now they come to you for you to put out the fire, put out whatever might be trying to start. And rather than put it out, you come up with some old reason. And I say some old reason because there could be many reasons, but you won't tell it, you won't be honest. And now, whether something that could have been put aside, you could have breathed, you would say, exhale. You could breathe again because you dealt with it, and this is how it turned out. But you didn't get that. You got the devil in it. Rather than trying to put it out, they're trying to inflame it and make hiding it, or you might not even be hiding it, but you won't be honest. And so, not being honest, it appears as though you're hiding what they already are suspicious of. And now, rather than you're going into a situation now that the fire is turned into a bonfire. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And all you had to do was to be honest. It's like, for instance, somebody might be suspicious of you and your conduct in a certain area whereby uh, just a little information would have quenched it. But no, that didn't happen. You, you know, you might come over, don't question me. how come you don't question me? Well, I'm questioning you because there's some information that is missing and I need to know. And so I'm asking you, but you can't tell me. So that makes me think that everything that I was questioning you about is absolutely true because you're still hiding stuff. You know, if you cheat on your spouse, tell them why you're cheating. I'm cheating because I'm getting fed here that I, nice if you find it out before you get married because then you don't have to get hooked up to that. But if you are, who knows? You know, that expression goes, you better do it because if you don't, there's somebody else that would. I don't mean you got to do it, but I'm just saying that's something that you got to deal with because there are people that will do exactly what you will not do. See, let me just give you one other example before I go. There are a certain group of people who believe that there is no way on earth that anyone would engage in oral sex. Other people do, but you know that's not you, and that would never happen to you or people like you. Only in time you'll find out that the people just like you was engaged in oral sex just like everybody else, but you didn't know that. Well, now that you know it, what do you do? How do you use that information? Well, that's up to you. But I just say that, ladies and gentlemen, because I want you to know that God is not like the devil. When you're touched by the Spirit of God, you can forgive. You do not carry pain and suffering down with you your whole entire life. Now, what would it mean for me to understand what black people have gone through? And now somebody says, or the Bible says, or I get an understanding that prophecy is saying that it is my time to come out of this abuse, to come out of this oppression. It is now my time to stand on the stage and have a voice in what is being said. And if I can't say the right things, I can't liberate myself and you because of the anger that I've held inside of me because of what you did to me. Nah, I'm not going to do anything but set the flame for this thing to never go away. But when I come out and say I'm looking out for you, just like I'm looking out for myself, because in bondage I learned that nobody needs to be there. I don't want to be there. And so I ain't got to be white to realize that white people don't want to be there either. But now that I'm in power, I'm going to get myself out of the situation. But I'm going to protect myself by making sure that white folks won't have to be in the situation. That's the love of God. So I forgive the white people for what they've done. I forgive my neighbors and my friends because of the lies that they have had afflicted on me, and hope that they will forgive me for the ones that I put on them. And if they do, we can smile again. We can walk together again as brothers, putting behind us the ugliness of yesterday. But if we can't do that, and you do find some people who will be talking about stuff that happened 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 1,000 years ago, can't and mad as hell, can't turn it loose for nothing. So if you can't turn it loose, how in the world can you fix something? You can't fix a dead blasted thing because your foundation is built on hate. Well, I just thought I'd take a moment, ladies and gentlemen, to speak to black people. Be careful what these BMs, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, having reflected on television and stuff like this. Be careful because if it's ugly, it is ugly. And it is not coming to do any good. It is coming to keep the flame burning. So when you see white folks, when you see black people, when you see these statements saying that you are being empowered, that you're coming on the scene, and they want you to know just how bad it was because maybe you don't have that information yet. Don't get angry, and if you do get angry, recognize it for what it is and quell it. No, I do. I can't stand to see a black man on these mediums with his fists all balled up, angry like I'm finna get you now, because that's what white folks see. And when white folks see that, they're trying to say, well, let's go get our arsenal together. We make sure that they never are free. Why? Because we're not gonna have that done to us. And that makes sense. That makes sense. But let me tell you, I know what I just got through saying to you. I know it's very important. I know the reality of it. But do you think it's going to show up on TV? Do you think what I'm saying to you right now, what you're listening to because you happen to be watching this video, do you think you're going to get a follow up of this kind of stuff on TV? No. Why? Because for right now, those mediums are not controlled by people who are led by the Spirit of God, who are led by the Spirit of love. No, they are not. They are continuing because they don't know any better to promote the same things that they've been promoting all along. See, they got the idea set up that I heard a woman say that God is restricted. And a lot of what I mean by restricted, there are a lot of people who will try to do everything they basically can to embrace God as long as there's no pain and suffering that comes from that reality. I heard a person say one time that if in a world, in our world today, you need money to do any and everything. And God put you in a situation where if you don't have the money, you cannot do these things. That tells you that there ought to be some changes made, that you can do these things without money. That's what God is teaching you. And if you can feel that spirit, you step outside of this bondage creating monster and step into the love creating monster, heavenliness, and let God guide you. Let God lead you. And God will show you how to interject your humanity into the situation that you're dealing with so that money will not have any factor. In other words, you put money aside because now you begin to teach people that everything that God made for you and made for you, He's giving you the resources. Now it's for you, and you engage yourself in creating it. So it is yours already. What the money for? Money is a con. Money is a ripoff. It's a scam to take advantage of people. But now you know the truth. And so you got joy in what you're doing because you know you are not going to be without it. You know that there's not anyone on earth that's going to be without the beautiful, wonderful services that God has given you to share with one another. And it doesn't cost you anything. Just you love what you're doing. God feeds it with joy. And that joy and love put together feeds everybody on earth. Not 8 billion people on earth walk around earth smiling. Nobody talking about a gun. Nobody talking about hate. Nobody talking about racism. Nobody talking about bigotry. Nobody talking about war. Why? Because you found the secrets of life. But you won't hear that on TV. You won't hear that on the evening news or the morning news. You won't hear that anywhere except you run across a video like this. And that's it. And even you, for the most part, won't share it. You'll just say, wow, that was nice. And then keep right on in that daily hell that you've been exposed to all your lives. Well, I want to thank you so very much for, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me a voice because now I feel so much better. I mean, tossing and turning, you can't sleep because I got all this crazy stuff going on, and I know that you are not getting any solution. But I get up and I sit here and I make this post because this is something that I can do. But I don't have to stop here. When I get a chance, I step outside of the arena and do other things that it's, and I recognize that's factors that love causes you to engage yourself in. So when you come to me, I won't be screaming at you. I won't be hollering at you. I won't be showing my low down dirty heart because of what you've done to me being reflected right back at you. No, I'll show you a kinder heart. I'll show you a heart that's been held down long enough to know that that stuff has got to go. And I'll show you something that you never knew. I'll show you love. That's God. That's how you talk to young people of this generation. You don't be beating them side the head. It's not so much what David did with Goliath, or Daniel in the lion's den, or Meshach. Those boys did some wonderful things. But it is better for those wonderful things to be expressed in our daily lives so we can understand that people do different kinds of things. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I won't hold you any longer. But I thank you so very much for giving me this your time. Until next, goodbye for now.